So let's talk about something that's been blowing up my comments section for what feels like forever: Pi Network. What is it? Is it a scam? Is it the next big thing? Well, let's get into it. Pi Network started with a really simple but powerful idea. They wanted to create a cryptocurrency that anyone, and I mean anyone, could mine right from their smartphone. You don't need a super expensive, power-hungry computer rig that sounds like a jet engine taking off in your garage. All you need is your phone and to tap a button once a day. This approach has made it incredibly accessible, and as a result, tens of millions of people all around the world have joined in, slowly accumulating Pi coins. The whole point was to make crypto less intimidating and more democratic. Think about it. Bitcoin was first, but it quickly became very technical and expensive to get involved with mining. Ethereum followed, but it also has its complexities. Pi Network's creators, a team from Stanford University, wanted to build a system where the average person could participate without needing a PhD in computer science or a small fortune to invest. They focused on building a huge, engaged community first, believing that a currency's real value comes from the number of people who use it and trust it. It's a network effect, plain and simple. Before we dive into how Pi changes everything, let's smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm and do a quick refresh on how your money works right now. It seems simple, right? You get paid, the money goes into your bank account, you use a debit card, or you use an ATM to get cash. But behind the scenes, it's a massive, complicated dance of numbers. Your money in the bank isn't a pile of cash with your name on it. It's a digital entry in a bank's ledger, a promise from the bank to give you that amount of cash when you ask for it. It's all based on a centralized system of trust, with the bank sitting right in the middle of everything. When you go to an ATM, you're essentially making a request to that central system. You insert your card, enter your PIN. The machine sends a secure message to your bank through a network like Visa or MasterCard. It asks, "Does this person have enough money?" Your bank's central server checks its ledger. If you have the funds, it sends an OK message back. The ATM dispenses the physical cash. Your bank updates its ledger, subtracting the amount you withdrew. It's reliable, but completely dependent on these huge, centralized institutions and their networks. This system has worked for decades, but it has its limitations. First, it's geographically bound. Sending money internationally is often slow and expensive. Second, it's not accessible to everyone. Billions are unbanked. This is the world cryptocurrency, and Pi Network aim to disrupt. Alright, so here's where it gets really interesting. How does a decentralized, community-driven network like Pi start working with these massive traditional banks? It sounds like two completely different worlds colliding, but the key is integration, not replacement. Banks aren't throwing away their existing systems. Instead, they're building a new on-ramp or a bridge that allows their infrastructure to communicate with the Pi blockchain. Think of it like a software update for their ATM network, one that adds a new function: withdraw from Pi Wallet. This is a huge step, and it's happening because banks are starting to see the sheer size of the Pi community as a customer base they can't afford to ignore. The process begins behind the scenes, in the bank's IT department. They would work to develop a secure application programming interface, or API. That's just a fancy term for a piece of software that lets two different systems talk to each other safely. This API would be designed to connect the bank's central servers to the Pi Network's blockchain. Its job is to do two things very well. First, securely verify that a user owns a specific Pi wallet. Second, check the real-time balance of that wallet. Security is paramount here, so this connection would be heavily encrypted and would likely use multi-factor authentication to prevent any unauthorized access. Once this API is built and tested, the bank would roll out a software update to its ATMs. This is similar to updates they already do to add new features or security patches. The update would add a new option to the ATM's main screen, right alongside checking savings. You'd see a new button that says something like Crypto Wallet, Pi Network. When a user selects this option, the ATM software switches from talking to the traditional banking network to communicating with the Pi blockchain through that new secure API. So, what would this actually look like for you, the average person holding Pi on their phone? Let's walk through it step by step. Imagine it's a Saturday afternoon and you need some cash for the farmer's market, but your bank account is running a little low. However, you've been mining Pi for a few years and have a decent balance in your Pi wallet. You walk up to an ATM that has been updated for Pi integration. The screen looks familiar, but there's that new button we talked about, crypto services. You press it, and a new world of options opens up. The first step is connecting your wallet. Instead of inserting a plastic card, the ATM screen displays a QR code. You take out your smartphone and open the Pi Wallet app. You select the Withdraw at ATM option. Your phone's camera opens and you scan the QR code on the ATM screen. This action creates a secure, one-time link between your specific wallet and this specific ATM transaction. To ensure it's really you, your Pi app will then prompt you for authentication, maybe your fingerprint, Face ID, or a unique PIN. This is crucial for security. It's like your digital signature authorizing the transaction. Once you're authenticated, the ATM and your phone will communicate through the bank's secure API. The ATM will ask, how much cash would you like to withdraw? $20, $40, $100. At the same time, the ATM will display the current exchange rate between Pi and your local currency. For example, it might show 1 Pi equals 50 cents US. Let's say you choose to withdraw $50. The ATM screen will then show you a final confirmation. You are withdrawing $50, which will debit 100 Pi from your wallet plus a quarter Pi transaction fee. Total, 100.25 Pi. Do you accept? You review the details on the ATM screen and also get a confirmation prompt on your phone. If everything looks correct, you tap Confirm on your phone. The ATM receives the final authorization, dispenses your $50 in cash, and prints a receipt. At the exact same moment, the Pi blockchain records a transaction, permanently and irreversibly moving 100.25 Pi from your wallet to the bank's corporate Pi wallet. It's that simple. So, this integration of Pi Network into ATMs is more than just a cool new tech feature. It fundamentally changes how we think about and access our money. For the everyday person, the most immediate impact is liquidity. That means how easily you can turn an asset into cash. For years, Pi coins were illiquid for most people. They lived on a phone, but you couldn't use them to buy groceries. ATM integration instantly fixes that. Your Pi becomes as good as cash, available 24/7 at thousands of locations. Pi shifts from speculative collectible to a functional financial tool. Think about the flexibility this adds. It creates a new layer in your personal finances. Checking account for regular bills, savings account for emergencies, Pi wallet, another source of funds. Maybe you use Pi for discretionary spending, going out to dinner, or buying a new gadget. People who accumulated Pi get a tangible reward, not just a number on a screen, real purchasing power for millions. This also brings financial resilience, debit card lost or stolen, bank online services temporarily down. Before, you might be stuck without access to money. With Pi integration, you have an independent backup. With your smartphone, you can still access funds and get cash. It decentralizes your personal financial world. You're no longer 100% dependent on one bank or one card. Options are powerful when managing money. Expanding on this, implications of Pi ATM integration go far beyond personal convenience. It can reshape global finance, international travel, remittances. Think about handling money when you travel now. Currency exchange fees at the airport. Unfavorable credit card exchange rates carrying large amounts of foreign cash. It's inefficient and expensive. Someone takes a cut at every step. Now imagine traveling with your Pi wallet. Land in Tokyo. Walk up to a Pi-integrated ATM scan, the QR with your phone. ATM doesn't care you're from the United States or that your home currency is dollars. It only cares you have Pi ATM offers Japanese yen at live Pi to yen rate. You withdraw what you need. The transaction settles instantly on the Pi blockchain. You bypass correspondent banking and traditional currency exchange. Pi becomes a universal bridge currency remittances. Money migrant workers send home World Bank. Hundreds of billions annually, fees average over 6%. Billions lost to intermediaries. With Pi, a worker in Dubai sends Pi directly to a family's wallet in the Philippines instantly with minimal network fee. family goes to a local Pi-enabled ATM, withdraws Philippine pesos. More money stays with families, boosting local economies, a truly global, equitable financial network. At this point, you might be asking, wait a minute, Graham, why would banks want to do this? Doesn't crypto want to replace them? And that's a great question. It seems counterintuitive. For years, the narrative has been crypto versus banks. But the reality, especially in 2025, is much more about crypto and banks. Smart financial institutions have realized that they can't just ignore a network with tens of millions of active users. That's a massive global customer base. And ignoring them is simply bad business. By integrating Pi, banks aren't surrendering. They're adapting and opening up a brand new line of business. First and foremost, it's about revenue. Every time someone withdraws cash from an ATM using their Pi wallet, the bank charges a fee. This fee might be a small amount of Pi, or a percentage of the transaction. Now multiply that small fee by millions of potential users, and millions of transactions. This becomes a significant and consistent revenue stream. That costs them very little to implement, just a software update on existing hardware, serving a customer base that previously had no reason to interact with their brand. Second, it's a powerful customer acquisition tool. When a Pi user without a bank account uses a Bank of America ATM to cash out, it's their first positive interaction with that bank. It's a smart, strategic move to ensure they aren't left behind as finance continues to evolve. Now, it's important to hit the brakes for a second and be realistic. This all sounds amazing, but the road to full global integration won't be perfectly smooth. There are significant challenges and hurdles that need to be overcome. The biggest one, without a doubt, is regulation. Another major challenge is the volatility of the crypto market. Then there's the issue of security. As soon as you connect a decentralized network to the centralized banking system, you create new potential points of attack for hackers. Finally, there's the challenge of adoption and infrastructure. It will likely start in a few key markets with forward-thinking banks and then gradually expand. So after breaking it all down, what's the final verdict? The integration of Pi Network with traditional bank ATMs isn't just a fantasy, it's the logical next step in the evolution of money. It represents a powerful convergence of the old and the new. It takes the reliability and the physical presence of the banking system and combines it with the global, decentralized, community-driven power of a network like Pi. This collaboration doesn't destroy the old system, but instead builds a vital bridge that benefits everyone, the individual user, the banks themselves. It's one of the most practical applications of cryptocurrency we've seen to date. For everyday people, the benefits are crystal clear. It means your digital assets, earned on your phone, are no longer trapped in a digital world. They become liquid, spendable, accessible as cash whenever you need them. It provides a new layer of financial flexibility and resilience, acting as a global backup to your traditional bank accounts. It simplifies international travel, makes sending money across borders cheaper, faster, especially for remittances. It empowers individuals by giving them more control, more options over their own financial lives. For the financial world, this represents a paradigm shift. Ultimately, what we are witnessing is the beginning of a truly democratized financial landscape. An idea that started with a simple app on a smartphone is now poised to connect with the global banking infrastructure. Thank you so much for reading.